Alright, so I got this trans down and clean, as you can see, and I still got a little time, so I figured let's open up the valve body and go through that. Alright, so it's a T25, these bolts. So first thing I'm going to do is take off this lock-up solenoid and get that out of the way. Bring the wire around. Okay, here's the solenoid. This is really only on the later models. You don't have this on all of them. All right, now I'm going to zip off this auxiliary valve body. Okay, here's this little valve body piece. Put this aside, take the tube, come right out. All right, now I'm going to flip this. And we're going to take all the bolts out, separate the two halves. Okay, all the bolts are out. And so here is your channel plate. You got a filter here. You probably got a couple of check walls in this. I'm going to take these two bolts out and separate this. And this one you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so about 7. I'll show you all that location. All right, let's take these out. Okay, this plate will lift off. Filter. And this has 2 steel check walls. Okay, one, well, you know what, after I clean it up, I'll give you the locations. And we're going to look at this plate, because this plate likes to get beat up over here. This is for reverse, and if it gets too beat up and starts to leak, you can have a harsh reverse engagement. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all, because this side, the other side of the plate is still okay. Okay, so let me dump these check walls out of here. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay. Get rid of the soil. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, this is pretty basic, it's just a 3-speed unit. Just these pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flat sand both halves. Actually, I'll do that now. And then I'm going to clean everything up, and then I'll be back for the reassembly, and I'll give you also the check wall location. So these I like the flat sand. ready. All right, so that's pretty much taken apart. So let me just clean everything up. I'll be back in a few minutes and we'll put it back together. And we'll make sure all the valves are free. All right, so I got this valve body all cleaned up. Now before we start assembling the valve body, let's talk about a couple of things. Okay, first is the separator plate. And as you can see, the steel check ball that sits here, it beats this plate up pretty good. All right, I could feel a little ridge on it, but this side really seems to be okay. It doesn't really seem like it's coming through the plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sanding disc here, my cookie, and I'm just going to make it flat. You know, take the ridge off or take the little lip off that the steel check ball made. And what I'm going to actually do is replace it with like a Vinton check ball, so the plate is not going to get beat up anymore and it'll still serve its purpose. And if this hole gets too bad and the oil starts to leak, this is going to cause a harsh reverse in the unit. So what I'm going to do is hook up my air here, and I'm just going to take this little lip off. Okay, that's all you really have to do. And now this is nice and smooth here. There's no more lip here, and the hole for the check ball looks okay. You know, you know, if it takes a check ball, there's actually 2 holes in the plate. You know, 1 hole is no check ball, 2 holes it normally takes a check ball. So this one has the large and the small. So this one, you know, takes the check ball, and again, I'm going to replace it with the Vinton style, you know, the hard plastic, so the plate will not get beat up. And the other one, I'll give you a close-up shot of this with the check ball locations on both the, you know, channel and the valve body itself. Okay, so this is going to be okay now. Now the second thing we're going to talk about before we put the valve body together is the valve body screen. Okay, this is the traditional barrel type screen, and this is what comes in the kit now. This is, you know, of course, more like a cone shape. And the reason for this change is in 2007, see, these valve bodies are all basically the same, whether you have a 3-speed or a 4-speed. So in 2007, they added to the 604 and to the 42 RLE, they added the pressure control solenoid in the valve body. And that was, basically that's to a lower line pressure at an idle. So in doing that, they had to change the casting. So when they changed the casting, these screens did not fit anymore, so they had to redesign the screen to fit this, you know, to look like this so it would fit. And pretty much the screen will retro back all the way to, you know, whatever year these things came out. So I guess instead of putting both of these screens in, depending on what year you're working on, because the overhaul kit would cover a variety of years, they just give you this one, since this will fit. It's a little smaller, but it will fit and retro back to all the years. So getting back to the changes in the valve body in 2007, you know, the 604 was called the 604, and then they changed the name to a 41 TE, and then they changed it again when it came out with that solenoid on the valve body to the 41 TES. And of course, like the 42 RLE, that kept the same name, but they might have added like a VLP, variable line pressure solenoid, at the end of it. I'm not 100% sure. But that's the reason for the screen, the valve body screen change. So, I mean, if you prefer this one, yeah, you can use it back. This comes in the kit, so I use it. It works, it serves its purpose, so I just do it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is gonna switch angles, and I wanna give you guys a shot of the check ball locations in this Torque Flight 6 valve body. So let me just switch angles, I'll be right back. All right, on the little channel plate here, the valve body, I got the 2 check balls in place. So we got the one here, which was steel, and I replaced it like with that hard plastic style check ball to save the plate. and this is the other steel one right in here. So there's two. One, two in this section. Okay, so we're going to move this out of the way. Let's bring this forward. Let me get it in view here. All right, this one I'll put the check balls in place. All right, so we have 6 standard size and we have 1 oversized. Okay, so we're going to go, there's 1 here. All right, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the oversized one, you know, technically the term we use on this is bathtub. So if you could see the size of the check ball actually is much larger. Let me compare it to you with the steel one that I'm not putting back in because it's the same. So you can see how larger that is, and that's going to go right in there. All right, so we have 7 of these check balls. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this Torque Flight 6. All right, so those are the check ball locations. I'm just going to get back a different view. We're going to reassemble this valve body and finish this one up. All right, so I'm just going to switch angles again. 1 sec. Okay, all right, so first we're going to put the plate, this section of the valve body together. All right, so we're going to get our new design valve body screen. We're going to stick it up through the hole here. And we're going to set this plate on. Okay, now we need to line this up. So what I do is I take a couple of bolts, because there's some bolt holes that are you know, smaller, and it's just snug enough for these to fit through. So I use those to line up. That's pretty much what they're for. 1 here, 1 here. All right, and then we're going to put our 2 bolts in. Let me get my speed handle. Oh, and I just checked all the valves. Of course, everything is free. You know, I use my flat blade tool there to make sure those valves are all good and free. Everything was good. Okay, so we're going to tighten these down, and then what I like to make sure is these things slide out easy. You know, if they don't slide out easy, then it possibly have moved. Okay, so we'll tighten these up. Okay, these come right out, so that's good. Here's our old valve body screen. We don't need that. The steel check ball. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is going to put the 2 halves together. So what I like to do, I like to just put it up on a little stand to get a little more, bring it up a little higher. Okay, so that's good. And then we're going to put this in place. Okay, it's a little snug fit because of this, you know, leakage back here, but it's in. And then we'll put our bolts in. You got a couple of holes here that are left, you know, for the filter. So of course we're not going to put any bolts in that. Okay. So we're going to gently tighten these down. Okay, I like to torque this down, but first we're going to flip this, and we're going to put the auxiliary valve body in. Okay, here is here is the tube. Actually, what we can do is we can install the tube here, and then just like that. Okay. All right, and we have our 3 bolts for that. All right, now I'm going to torque this valve body down. Figure probably about 70 inch-pounds. Slide this over. Start from the middle. Work your way out. Good. To the other side. Okay. Now what we're going to do, there's a little C-clip here with a little washer, and under that washer there is a seal. So we're going to take that out and replace the seal. Okay, here we go. All right, here's the little clip on the rag, the little washer, and I'm going to take this out. Okay, there is the seal. So blow the excess oil out of here. And let me just grab the new one. Okay. Here it is. All right, we're going to install this seal. Then we will put our washer back on. And our clip. Let me just get a, I guess, let me see if I can just push this thing on. Okay. Okay, that's on. The last thing we have is our solenoid. I'd like to change the O-ring on that. So let's get this O-ring off, match up. Okay, found one in the kit here. All right, that looks good. Okay. That and the bolt. All right, let me get these wires out of the way. little screwdriver here, T25, nut driver, or driver. All right, tighten that. Bring these wires back around. All right, and this is your 904 valve body, and then the filter, these 3 holes are for the filter. Flat filter sits right on top. I don't think I have it here yet. Yes, I do. Still in the plastic, but the filter sits right on top. And this is your valve body. All right, so that's about it for this 904 unit. Once again, I thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great day.